Good morning, class.
Good morning, teacher.
Today we're going to study about something you see every night in the sky. Can y'all tell me what that might be that you see in the sky every night? The moon, that's right. What are some things you know about the moon? Kristen, what's something you know about the moon? Thomas, what's something you know about the moon?
There's aliens.
Aliens on the moon, okay. Well, today we're going to talk about what's fact or fiction about the moon. And then we're going to take one specific one and look at it, okay? So you said there's aliens on the moon. Kristen, you think that's fact or fiction? Fiction. What's something else that you hear about the moon or someone say about the moon?
I have to say something. I gotta put the aliens on the moon under fact.
Why?
Because the reason why NASA never returned to the moon is because aliens were crawling on them.
Crawling on the moon. We'll have to investigate that one a little bit more, I think.
Why do you think they never returned?
I don't know. We'll look into that later.
They're hiding something.
Let's get back on track, okay? All right. What's something else that you've either heard someone say about the moon or said about the moon? You know, they said it's true, or it's just a saying about the moon. Have any of you ever seen a blue moon? Well, if that's true, there is such thing as a blue moon. The moon can be blue. Okay. What's some other things you've heard about the moon? Has anyone told you about someone that's living on the moon? Not necessarily an alien. How many of you ever heard about the man in the moon? Do you think there's actually a man in the moon? Of course, Thomas said there's aliens, but is there one man on the moon, you think? In the moon? Possible? So you think it's fact, Thomas, or fiction?
Possible.
Possible. So you're saying, we'll put it on the line? Man in the moon. Have any of you heard of what someone said the moon's made of? Or what do you think the moon's made of, Kristen? Cheese. Do you think that's true?
No.
No, so made of cheese. Okay, we've got one other. Time for one other. What other thing have you heard people say about the moon? Have you ever heard about people say there's not any gravity on the moon? Do you think there's gravity on the moon? Yes or no? Kristen says no. Thomas, do you think there's gravity on the moon?
Possible.
Possible. So we've got someone say that it's fact there's no gravity on the moon. And someone saying that there is. Okay. Well, today we're going to investigate whether there's gravity on the moon. I'm going to show you a brief video. How many of you have ever heard of Neil Armstrong? Or do you know who he is? Thomas, who's Neil Armstrong? First man on the moon. He's the first man to walk on the moon. I'm going to show you a short video clip of where they landed on the moon and about his walk. And I want you to observe what's happening while he's on the moon. Now, someone said there's no gravity on the moon. So keep that in mind. Let's see if I can get this started. how Neil Armstrong walked on the moon? Thomas. What was something you noticed about how he was walking on the moon?
Bounce.
He bounced. Why do you think he had to bounce? Instead of just walking normal like this. Why was he having to do this? What do you think? Kristen.
No gravity.
Oh, didn't hear you.
No gravity.
Well, let's think about what gravity means. Now, on Earth there's gravity, so do we have to bounce when we walk? Okay. So, in that case, there must be some gravity on the moon because he's not flying off. Why do you think people think there's not any gravity on the moon? Where is the moon? Can't hear you, Thomas. In space. So, is there gravity in space? Speak up.
No.
No, okay. So that's why they think there's not any gravity on the moon. Well, today we're going to investigate gravity not only on the moon, but we're going to try to find out how far we can walk or jump on different planets, okay? We're going to do a moon jump, but before we do that, I want us to review a little bit on our units of measurement. Okay. Now, you'll look on your desk, what do you have that you can use to measure with? What is it? You got rulers, right? Okay. What does a ruler, how many units are on a ruler? And what does it measure in? Do you remember? A ruler measures in what?
Inches.
Inches, that's right. Okay. Well, this looks like an awfully big ruler, doesn't it? This is called a yardstick. And while there are inches on here, it has more than what's on a ruler. How many inches are on a ruler? Look at your ruler and tell me how many inches. 12. Well, this yardstick has 36 inches. We look at our chart, well, remember, 36 inches equals 1 yard. Okay? So a yardstick is basically 3 rulers. Now, 1 foot equals your ruler. So if I asked you, now without looking up here, see if you can tell me, how many feet are you going to find in a yardstick? Thomas?
3.
3, that's right. Okay. Now, how do you think they would have measured their moon jumps in space? What would they have used? Would they use feet, a foot, a yard, or a mile? What would we have used to measure that when you jumped on the moon? Thomas? Help him out a little, Kristen. I think you forgot what he was going to say. What would you use to measure your jumps if you were in space on the moon? Would you have used miles? Would you have jumped a mile in space maybe on the moon? You think you could have jumped a yard? Could you have jumped 3 feet, you think? So would we use inches then? Okay, we would have used inches. Now, they had to get to the moon by rocket, so how would they measure? What unit of measure would they measure how far it was from Earth to the moon? Miles, okay. So, these units of length are what they would have used to measure certain things on their mission. But today, as I said, we're going to do moon jumps. And I need y'all to get in your group. So Kristen and Thomas, come up here. Let me get your stuff. Bring your rulers and your pencils, and you will need your crayon. Okay. Now, each of you are going to do a moon jump. Let me show you what we're going to do on this page. This is going your recording page, you need to write each of your names. You're each going to do 3 different jumps. And how you're going to do your jump, turn around and watch. You're going to start at the starting line, and then you're going to take a jump, okay? And then your partner's going to draw with their crayon, your specific color crayon, your feet, okay? And then you're going to take another jump, but you're going to do it diagonally, and you're going to go like that, a shorter jump. Same thing. Then you'll turn, and you're going to jump like that. Then we're going to measure your jumps and record them on your sheet, your first, second, and third jump. Okay, so go ahead and write your team names on your data sheet.
Pencil bar.
You better use yours, Tom.
It broke.
What is it with my pencils today? Let's see. Try this one. Maybe it's got a little bit of one that won't break. If not, I'll have to find the other one. Can you pause that again? So I can make the dogs go on that one. Or stop it. So Thomas, you're going to go first. Okay. So at the starting line, now jump as far as you can. All right, Kristen. Circle his, draw his feet where you jump. That's one big foot. All right, Thomas, now jump diagonally to the next piece of paper. Ready? Okay, well, okay. Right there, Kristen. Okay, one more jump to the next page. Ready? Okay, don't fall. Alright. Now before Kristen does her jump, we're going to measure how far you jump and record it on your sheet, okay? Let's take your ruler and let's see if that's going to work. Is that ruler going to work, or are we going to need something different? I think we might need to use the yardstick. Thomas did some pretty big jumps, okay? What you'll do first, his first jump is going to go from the starting line here. Thomas, you need to come help record. And you want to measure from the starting line to the very end of his heel, right about there. Okay? So how far was it that he ended up jumping? What do you think? What would it be? Let's look at you started from here, didn't you? Okay, so what would that be? With him starting here, let's look at our yardstick. How far did he jump? Thomas, how far did you jump? $22.5. Okay, who's going to record that on your board? That's Thomas's first jump. Okay, so we'll write 22.5 on Thomas's first jump. Okay, now we're going to take the yardstick again. And Thomas, measure your next jump from the front of your foot to the back of that heel. And tell Kristen how much it is.
One and a half.
What? Where is it touching where is it touching the drawing?
Okay, 21 and a half.
21 and a half, okay. Now take the yardstick and do the same thing and measure from the front of that foot to the back of that one. Okay? Now are you at the front? Let's move it this way a little bit, right like that. Okay, from the front. From here, okay, to there. So how far?
29.
29? Okay. All right. Now it's Kristen's turn, and you get to mark hers, okay? So we need to use a different color crayon, so you're going to draw hers with the red, right? All right, Kristen, start from the starting line. And take a big jump. Okay. Well, Thomas, draw around her feet. All right, Kristen, now jump to the next one. Next sheet. Okay. And now to the third piece of paper, your next moon jump. All right, Thomas. Okay. Now you get to measure how far Kristen jumped on all three of her jumps. All right, Kristen. Ready? So you're going to take, like I did with Thomas's, you're going to start at the starting line to the back of the heel, okay? Thomas, over here. Okay. Because you actually started right here on the line, so. Thomas, I'm going to tell you how much. 29 and a half, Kristen's first jump. So now you're going to measure from the front of your foot to the back of the heel. You ready, Thomas?
15 and a half.
15 and a half is your second jump, Thomas. Okay. How far, Kristen? Let's see. See if I can help you. Looks like we may, let's see if we did it like that. What do you think? We can call it 23. Just say 23 on her last jump, Thomas. All right. Now you can go back to your desk. Now you should have your worksheet that says, if you look at your page right here, your group worksheet says draw a picture of your jumps and label the lengths. So go ahead and draw those. Let me get you another pencil, Kristen, or something to write with anyway. You can use your crayons for this one. Okay? We're going to make that in a minute. So go ahead and draw your jumps on that, in that first circle right here. Okay? You're just going to kind of imitate what you did. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of draw an illustration of your jumps, how you zigzag. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Once you're finished with that, what does the directions say? It wants you to label the lengths of your jump. See if I can find you a pencil that wants to work here. Anyway, why don't you just use an ink pen for this work? Probably easier. So look at your sheet that you recorded your jumps on, and remember, you kind of got those backwards, so yours are here. Thomas's are here. So label the distance between your jumps, okay? So if your first jump, Thomas, was from this one to the next one, was how far? What does it say on your sheet? It's at 21 and a half. So you're going to say it's 21 and a half with that line right there. And from the beginning, you want to start from the start line to that. You're just drawing an illustration of what we just did. Okay, how are you doing? You got it? Got it, Thomas? Okay. Now let's see if you can do this distance that you jumped, how would you find the total distance that you jumped? What function would you use? What math function?
Addition.
Addition, that's right. So we're going to add them all together, find out how far you jumped total in inches, okay? So go ahead and do that. So let's see, Thomas, you have 22 and a half plus 21 and a half plus 29, okay? And you're going to write that and work it over here in your second bubble, right there. And Kristen, you had 29 and a half, 15 and a half, and 23. Let's see how far y'all jumped. Right here. It's on your sheet. 22 and a half plus 21 and a half plus 29. See that? Okay, Thomas, what did you say your first jump was?
22 and a half.
And then what was your second jump?
21 and a half.
Okay,
And 29.
29. Now remember, one of the rules when we're adding with decimals, you've got to make sure your decimals line up, okay? So make sure you bring that decimal down, like that, okay? Kristen, what were your jumps again?
The 29 and a half.
29 and a half,
15 and a half.
15 and a half,
And 23.
and 23. Okay. Well, I didn't line that one up very well, did I? You're going to bring it straight down. So just like you do when you add double digits or triple digit numbers, you're just going to follow your columns, okay? So Thomas, what was your answer? Do you know? Or let's go over it. What's 5 plus 5? 10. So we'll bring that down. What do we do with the 1? We're going to add it where? Where are we going to put it?
Add it to the jump.
Okay. So let's add this column. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 9 is going to be what? And one answer.
5.
No.
Wait, no, not 5. Oh, yeah. 13.
13. Okay, so what do? We bring the 3 here. What did I do with that 1 again? I'm going to bring it up here, right? Okay. So what's 1 plus 2?
3.
3 plus 2?
5.
And 5 plus 2 is? 6. Okay. So Thomas jumped 73 inches total. Okay? All right, Kristen, let's see what you did. What's 5 plus 5?
10.
Okay, we're going to bring that up here, right? So 1 plus 9 is
10.
10 plus 5?
15.
15? 18? Okay. 4 plus 2?
3.
Okay, 3 plus 1?
18.
3 plus 1 is 4. And then your 4 plus 2 is going to be 6. Thomas jumped 5 more inches than you. Was that right? How will we find out how many more inches he would jump? We'd use what function? How do you find out the difference between the two numbers? What function do you use? Do you remember? Subtraction. Okay. So Thomas jumped 73 inches and Kristen jumped 68 inches. Okay. Now we're going to go on to our next page of our group work. So what I want you to do, let's see. I'm going to choose one of the numbers up here, or you're actually going to use both of your numbers. And we're going to find out how far you would have jumped on the moon based on how much their gravity is. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to take how many inches you jumped, and you're going to multiply that times the gravity of the moon or what planet, okay? And that should tell you what your distance would be, all right? So you're going to use your calculators, and you're going to work in your groups, because once you finish this portion, we're going to make a graph to show what it looks like as to who has the most gravity, what planet has more gravity, what planet you would jump farther on, okay? Y'all ready? Let me get... We're going to investigate a little bit further using our graphs, or making a graph based on some information, some data. So let's say that we can jump 10 times farther on the moon than we do on Earth. So Thomas, how far did you jump on your first jump? Or what was the total amount of inches you jumped on your jumps? What did your chart say? 73. So what we would do, since we're going to jump 10 times farther, what function would we use to find that out? How would we find out how far we could jump on the moon? We would use what function? We use addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Kristen? Multiplication. So we're going to take 73 and multiply it times 10. So how far did you jump on the moon then, Thomas, compared to the Earth? You jumped how many inches? 73 times 10 is what? 730 inches. Okay. So on your charts, we've got Mercury, Venus, and Mars, and it tells you how far you would jump, how much more you would jump on those planets. For example, Mercury says you would jump 30 times farther than you did on Earth. So I want you to go ahead and use your calculators and put how far you would have jumped based on what you jumped here on Earth. And then we're going to go to the computers and we're going to make our graphs and show the comparison of where we would have jumped the farthest on what planet, okay? So let's go ahead and finish our charts. And when you're done, raise your hands and I'll take you over to the computer and we'll complete your graphs, okay? You got it okay? Okay, so you're going to put, what did you say you jumped there? Okay. Alright, so we're going to bring this over here. You ready? So what you need to do here, let's look at your charts. What I want you to do is, Thomas, I want you to highlight. Click right there. Okay. Now, how far did you jump on Earth? 73. The top 73. Okay. Now, how far did you jump on the moon? And you know how to get over here? You're gonna. There you go. All right. How far did you jump on the moon? And Mercury. Okay. How about Venus? Okay, and Mars. Okay, it's Kristen's turn. Kristen, let you input your information. got everything? Okay, now looking at your graphs, which planet did you jump the farthest on? Thomas? Venus. Okay, and of course, what planet did you jump the least on? Where?
The moon.
The Earth. Okay. Were there any planets that were the same? Which planet?
No, Mars and Mercury.
Mercury. Okay. So, gravity has a lot to do with keeping us on the ground, right? All right. So, tomorrow we're going to look at some more things about the moon. Tonight, just for a little extra investigation, if you're able to go online and look up some more facts and rumors about the moon, and then we'll come back and we'll see which one we're going